Okay, Charles, you're ready to go.
Okay, so before we start the meeting, I'd like to read a land acknowledgement. The land on which we meet has been here from time immemorial. People have inhabited Southern Ontario for about 10,000 years, and we acknowledge the neutral people, also called Attawandaron, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee people who lived here when settlers arrived and who share this land with us. May we together learn to care for and respect each other, our flora and fauna, and the land we inhabit together. So I remind the committee and members of the public that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the township's YouTube channel. This meeting is being held electronically due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Precautions and measures are in place regarding social distancing to ensure the health and safety for those in attendance at the municipal office. Anyone who registered to participate in this meeting will be invited to speak in the order of applications being heard. I will now do a roll call of the committee for the benefit of the public watching this meeting. When I call your name, please wave at your camera and say here or present. I, Charles Zeidler, am present and chairing this meeting. Committee members and staff, Jim Brearley.
Here.
Tim Cronin.
I'm here.
Linda Dixon.
Here.
And Hans Potkamper.
Present.
And then we have David Gundrum, our planner.
Present.
And Nancy Thompson, the secretary treasurer.
Present.
Great. So I will now provide an explanation of the procedures for this meeting. Each application will be read by Nancy, and she will ask each applicant to make a brief presentation, not to exceed 5 minutes. The committee will be given an opportunity to question the applicant. Any other person who is registered with the recording secretary and is wishing to address an application, either for or against, will then be given the opportunity to speak. Please make sure you have turned on your microphone and video and identify yourself clearly for the recording secretary. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the committee will make a decision on the application. Once discussion on your application is complete, please mute your microphone and turn off the video. You are free to leave the meeting at this time or remain and listen to the balance of applications. The applicants are advised that each application has a 20-day appeal period as required under the Planning Act. In accordance with Bill 23, which received royal assent on November 28, 2022, appeals may only be submitted by the applicant, the municipality, certain public bodies, and the minister. So for this application today, the last day of appeal is January 4th, 2023. So at this time, I'll ask if any members of the committee, if they are declaring a pecuniary conflict of interest with any of the applications.
No.
I'm not.
No.
No.
Great, so that's nobody. So Nancy, if you can read the first application, please. First and only, I guess.
Thanks, Charles. So the application this evening is for minor variance A34 2022 for Caitlin Carpenter for the property at 11 Glasgow Street North in Conestoga. The property is zoned settlement residential and contains a single detached dwelling. The applicant is requesting relief from the following: Section 6.10.2D, building line setback, to reduce the building line setback adjacent to Glasgow Street North from 6 meters to approximately 3.4 meters. And Section 8.3.1, minimum lot area, to recognize the existing lot area of approximately 1,375 square meters, whereas 1,390 square meters is required in order to demolish the existing dwelling and construct a new dwelling. The property is located at the corner of Glasgow Street North and Flaxmill Drive in Conestoga, and Caitlin is here to speak to the application.
Okay, thanks. I am Caitlin, and this is my husband, Voss. We bought this property in September, and we've been looking for a place in Conestoga for a while. And we're happy to find this one on my parents' street, which is where I grew up. And when we bought it, we knew we wanted to create our own home for us and our 3 kids on the site. But given it's a corner lot, we thought the best solution would be an L-shaped house, and that would provide some privacy for us and our neighbors. And it would also make the best use of the site and allow us to add a new septic and well. And we've come up with a design that we think works and have consulted with a well consultant and a septic engineer to confirm that that's the best layout. And the new home will have a footprint of about 350 square meters, and we'll have a front door where it currently is facing Glasgow, and a driveway entrance to a garage of a flax mill. And we think the design meets the regional plan intent, and it will be ideal for us as well as our neighbors. And we hope you'll consider our application.
Great, thank you. Do any members of the committee have any questions for the applicant? Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you to the applicant. Caitlin, thank you very much for that. And you did raise a point. So when I was out on site and also looking at the comments, there was the comments about the septic system, and you noted that you've already been in contact with an engineer with respect to the well and the septic. So I'm taking by that you're comfortable with having to kind of revamp based on maintaining that 3.4 meters from Glasgow Street, kind of revamping the house layout should there be a need to increase the size or do something different with the septics? Or has he indicated that this layout should work?
He indicated it should work. We included in our application where the septic engineer has recommended the septic bed go and how large it would be, and he based that on the size of the house and occupants and everything. So based on his recommendations, he thought it would work where he's put it.
Okay, so clarification. So that gray area that's on the sketch is what has kind of been laid out for
it's
with
so
their discussion?
I don't know if you're looking at the septic one. I'm not sure if that was included in your package or not, but
I'm not sure that I saw that, sorry.
It says flow spec engineering on the document, which is the engineer, and it's
Okay.
a yellow
Okay.
rectangle. This is proposed conceptual leaching bed location. And so kind of the gray is the house in the L-shaped, and then the septic is in yellow if you have that document.
So that's what the engineer has laid out for you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Do any other members have any questions of the applicant? Tim.
Okay, not to the applicant, through you, Chair, to staff, to David. I noticed this property's coming in, the driveway's coming off Fox Mill. Does that mean a new entrance permit? And because it's so close to the corner, there wasn't any flags raised by staff, but that's been addressed that the access will work for this property?
Yeah, through the chair, Member Cronin, there would be a requirement for a new access permit through the township. We have warned the applicants, and I think there was a brief note of this in our report, that part of that proposed driveway would encroach into the site triangle. So again, what we've been provided is a concept sketch, and there may be some adjustments. There would have to be some adjustments made as to where that driveway ends to respect the daylight triangle for traffic safety. So we can't put a parking spot within that daylight triangle, and I know that our engineering staff have their own standards as well that would dictate to what width towards the intersection that driveway could come.
So just
Yeah, so go ahead.
just to follow up through you, then there's nothing we need to put in as requirements as part of the planning to do this. All done through the permit application for the driveway then.
Through the chair, that's correct. Upon review of building permit and for the access permit, we staff would revert to what the zoning bylaw and what our engineering standards have to say on the matter. So,
Thank you. That's my only question. Thank you.
Thank you. Hans, did you also have a question?
Yes, I did, through you to staff. I noticed that there's an amendment to the application. So requiring the applicant to ensure that the west-facing wall has doors and windows in it appropriate for the type of building. Have you seen enough information to satisfy you that this is going to happen?
Through the chair, member Potcamper, we haven't been provided with elevation drawings to illustrate the concept of what that wall would look like, but sort of as a kind of a safety valve, so to speak, but to ensure that the future design of the house would conform to our urban design guidelines, we've added in that condition. I know Caitlin, she's indicated that the front door is to be along that west wall onto Glasgow Street North, and one would expect there would be windows there as well. But this is really just, to ensure that we don't have a hang up with our urban design guidelines once we receive a building permit in future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hans and David. Did any other members have any questions for the applicant? Nothing. How would the committee like to handle this application? Linda.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that minor variance application A34 2022 concerning the property known municipally as 11 Glasgow Street North in Conestoga to permit a building line setback of 3.4 meters from Glasgow Street North for a proposed single detached dwelling, whereas a building line setback of 6 meters is required, and to recognize a minimum lot area of 1,375 square meters in the settlement residential zone, whereas a minimum lot area of 1,390 square meters is required, and that be subject to the west-facing wall of the future dwelling will be subject to reduced building line setback construction with windows, doors, and/or architectural features consistent with township urban design guidelines as they regard facade streetscape design to the satisfaction of the Director of Development Services.
Great, thank you, Linda. Do we have a seconder for that? Hans, thank you. All those in favor? So that's all of us, so opposed would be none. So your motion has been passed, Caitlin. Just a reminder that there is an appeal period that goes till January 4th, 2023. And I believe that Nancy will send you some information about all that stuff.
Okay.
Great,
Perfect.
thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caitlin. Okay, that's all the applications we have this evening. Can move on to the minutes.
All right, everyone had a chance to review the minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make that motion, Charles.
I could see it, Tim. It's all yours.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Linda. And then all those in favor? That's everyone. So opposed would be none. So those minutes have passed.
Good job on the one application. There was a lot of discussion and detail.
Yeah, and just, I had mentioned to David earlier, just so the committee is aware, we do have still a transcription of the presentations in the file, but to just keep the minutes to, minimum, Jeremy suggested that we edit them that way. So, but we do still have the transcription of all the comments in the file.
No, that's what they should be, is it's kind of a summary right there. That's a lot of discussion on that, a lot of good detail as needed in the minutes. So thank you.
Okay. David, I don't know, under other business, aside from what I sent out in the email, I don't know if there's really much else we can say about Bill 23 right now and how it impacts Committee of Adjustment. It really does impact just the appeals, as I noted. It essentially eliminates the third-party appeals.
I was just going to say, I think based on what we know so far, that's the main thrust. It takes away the appeal rights for members or community groups, like general members of the public. Basically, it eliminates their ability to appeal.
Okay, so I'm getting the January package ready to go. You'll see that by email later this week, and then it'll get in the mail. So we'll continue into January. I anticipate from what we've heard, as David noted, in November nominations, those other papers for the new committee will go out sometime in January. We'll let you know as soon as we get that. And then, yes, Charles, as we kind of discussed just very, very briefly at the beginning, as long as you're still comfortable continuing with the chair for the balance of the meetings, whether it's through 2, 3, or 4, we'll see where we go.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. All right, I had nothing further. Nobody else had anything further. We all were in agreement to doing a dinner. Jim thought, depending, I think, where we go, he may or may not be able to attend. I was thinking Harvest Moon or the Crow's Foot. I didn't know if anybody had a preference. I'll put some dates out in early January. Obviously, it's not going to be a meeting night unless we have a short meeting, but I'll send out something that we get something going in the new year for that.
Awesome.
Good. Okay.
Just to set it up someplace where we can talk and communicate. Sometimes it gets a little noisy at Harvest Moon, so they have the
Does it?
afternoon. So it could be, but I know both of them have areas that can be separated. But just, it'd be kind of nice to get the group together where we can actually talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know Harvest Moon has some areas where you can kind of tuck in a corner or something like that. I wasn't sure how the Crow's Foot's laid out now that they're fully open kind of thing, and I can inquire. So I'll maybe just see what's available if anybody has, or if anybody has any other suggestions. I was just kind of still trying to stay somewhat local.
Does the golf course still have a restaurant there?
They do. Okay. So are they open
Yes,
fully through the winter?
they're-
Okay.
Yes, they are till about, I'm not sure if it's 7 or 7:30 at night.
Okay. So I can throw that one in the mix too and see what's available. Because certainly I'd be looking at a 5 o'clock, probably, a 5 o'clock dinner. And if they are open till 7 or 7:30, that's adequate time.
Perfect.
I
All right,
know that it's all through the week though, Nancy. That's the only thing. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Monday or Tuesday, but it's definitely Thursday, Friday, Saturday for sure.
Got you. Okay. So we could look at a Thursday or something, but I'll throw an email out with some available dates and try and pick something from there.
Awesome.
All right.
Sounds good.
That sounds
So we're-
wonderful.